And there we go. All right. Good evening, good evening, good evening, and welcome to the Get Unstuck training. I'm super excited. Are you guys excited tonight?
Yes.
Okay, good. Because I was going to say, if you're not excited, we got to get excited. Yes, yes, yes. So, the purpose of this training is really, as you know, we are approaching the midpoint of the year, and I always do something around this time. I actually am going to do another little challenge in July when we officially kind of hit that midpoint of the year. But this is really a good time of the year where we can really stop and reflect on what are we doing? Is it effective? If so, how can we increase it? If not, how can we make some adjustments? And so one thing I always love to highlight when I talk about getting unstuck is that getting unstuck is not just for people who are not experiencing success. You can get stuck in success. You can be experiencing some results, doing some great things, and because of that, become stagnant, become complacent, become comfortable, and then miss out on opportunities to grow and to advance and to be better. So I don't want you to think that when we're talking about getting unstuck, we absolutely we are assuming that something's going wrong. Something could be going totally great. And either way, sometimes we just need that jump start to push us to the next level. Okay. So I want to hear from you guys. What are some of the things that you are hoping to get out of today? So I don't know if everybody, I know some of you might be muted, or if not, I would love for you to actually speak it and share it or type it in the chat. So Peaches, I'm gonna start with you because I know you're over there and you're fired up as always.
um, well, one of the things I'm looking forward to, because sometimes I feel like I've gotten stuck. I know, I mean, you guys know I had a medical situation, and sometimes I felt like when I was down, I felt kind of bad because I felt like I wasn't doing enough. But
Mm-hmm.
my main thing is I have a big event. I'm gonna be a vendor at the Unshakable Faith Conference, and
Awesome.
I want I want some pointers on when doing a big conference, because I did pray. God said, right now, I want you to focus on preparing for that event. Um, and so I need some help on how to prepare. I did get some more business cards and things like that, but what can I do to really prepare for this event so it can be successful, so I can have a sellout and just continue to have more open doors for more events, more bookings, and things like that.
Okay. That sounds good. Miss Carol, what about you? What are you hoping to hear, to gain some information on in this session today?
You had to pick me, right?
I do. I'm going straight. Let me tell you, I'm going straight down the line. Yes, everybody's having a chance to share.
Well, you know, I have my Mary Kay business. I also have my hair business, and
Hmm.
you know a little bit of my background, Tiffany. For the
I do.
past 2 years, um, with my son, car accident and all that kind of stuff. I had talked to you before about doing a book, all that other stuff, and I put it on hold because what I realized that mentally and emotionally, I was not ready to take on any new challenges.
Hmm.
So now it's like, okay, 2 years have passed. I've looked at myself in a different light, and trying to, not trying, I am going to pick up my businesses because I let both of them lapse. I didn't feel like going to work. I didn't feel like doing all those other kind of stuff. So now I'm looking to, get back into my businesses, start building them back up and things of that nature. So that's where I am right now.
Awesome. That sounds good. Um,
Hmm.
I can't tell the name, but it just has the number, the 443680. If that's you, it is your lovely turn. We would love to hear. I want to know what you're hoping to gain out of today's session.
Hey, Tiff, that's me. Shakia.
Who's that?
Shakia.
Hi, Shakia. Girl, I got,
Hey,
how
lady.
many people in my email? She said it's me. Oh, ma'am.
I thought
You
by
got
now
to say a
you noticed
name.
my number. Um, actually, without actually what I'm willing to gain from the session today is more understanding on how to be a better entrepreneur, the basics of just dealing with the avenue of uh, b- branding better. I want to know how to be a better brander.
Okay. That's good stuff. Let me jump down to George.
Yeah, I'm here.
Hey, George.
What's going on? For me, it's really marketing and promotioning because I'm doing a lot of going out talking to people, but the whole social media marketing aspect is a little bit confusing because I see there's a
Okay.
lot of ads that I can send out, but it's like, do I trust it? Has anybody used it? What's the outcome of it? So there's a lot of marketing and promotion with me.
Okay. That's good stuff. We're definitely talking about that today. Let me make sure I'm not skipping. I feel like it's jumping. It doesn't say a name, but it says Galaxy Note 5.
That's me. That's me, Tiffany. This Laverne.
You know what? I declare, I was trying to make sure this email did not go to my Kingdom Boss Society members. I must have not hit the right button.
Oh, okay.
Nope. Y'all are welcome on here, but I'm not gonna let y'all hog the training for all my other people. I'm just laughing because I'm like, y'all ain't sticking for me. Lord have mercy. Okay. Hi, Laverne.
Hi.
So what are you hoping to gain from today's session?
See if there's anything I missed.
All right.
Me too. That's what I'm
I know
doing.
you hear from me twice a month.
And just making sure, I learn how to streamline all the information that I receive, because sometimes that can make you get stuck too much information
Yes.
from multiple sources, and I'm listening from multiple avenues right now, trying to put this together.
That makes sense. I totally get that. And Jamila, not I know we had two Jamilas on here. Not Blount, but Leah.
Hi.
Hi.
Well, I just saw it and God showed me a lot and gave me a vision on the businesses that I am very interested in, and I wrote it down, and now I'm like, now what?
Mm-hmm.
Because
Yes.
it's so much. I'm like, okay, so what do I do now?
Gotcha. I love it. Before I jump, I want to make sure I did not skip anyone. Now, this is not the place to be bashful or shy. So, is there anybody I did not call out to share? I think let me look down here. Okay. I think we're good to go. So this is good stuff then. I feel confident because I think I'm sure you guys are in the right place because everything that you talked about, we're going to touch on. And then I'm going to be honest with you. I know there's so much more in depth I could go into probably each one of these topics. And so once we close out, if there's still more that you need, I'm going to share with you a way that you can continue getting some of your questions answered. Okay. But let's just kind of dive right into it. I guess I got to click back on here. Okay. So here are 3 words that you are probably very familiar with: branding, marketing, and sales. And I want to say, I hope that you have a notepad or something written out, because I promise you right now, I'm going to give you some nuggets and some jewels and some stuff that I probably paid thousands of dollars for, and you're getting it for free. So I want you to write it down because it's going to be beneficial to you in your business building. Okay. So these 3 words right here really, really, really can unlock a huge mystery for us. And it's branding, marketing, and sales. I promise you that 9 times out of 10, right? I almost want to say 10 out of 10, but there's off chances. But 9 times out of 10, when you are stuck in your business somewhere, it is in one of these 3 areas. If you find that you are not getting the consistent revenue, the consistent client base, the consistent speaking engagement requests, whatever it is, relative to your business, when you find that something is not quite producing the results that you would like, one of these three areas really will kind of hold the key to unlocking that next level of results for you. And so I kind of want to go through each of the three briefly and talk about that. All right. So the first one is branding. I have a special place in my heart for this because there's so many people in the market talking about branding right now, and yet I still feel like most people don't really understand what a brand is. Like, everybody's a brand strategist, everybody's a brand coach, and I'm not knocking it because that's a small part of what I do. My focus tends to be more so marketing and sales, but I do have a brand background, and I think with everything that's out here now, YouTube and this and that and do-it-yourself stuff, I really find that most people I talk to and work with still really don't understand what a brand is, and do they even have one. And one thing that I want to point out, going back to this slide really quickly, is that these words are put in this order for a reason. You can't have consistent sales without consistent marketing. And you can't have effective marketing without a clearly identified brand. And so most people, to be honest, get stuck in the middle. Most people have a hard time marketing, and it's because their brand really is not fully identified. When you really go through the steps, and we're going to talk about it in a second, to really map out what your brand fully is, it will naturally provoke marketing ideas and strategies. Okay. And then once you get consistent with your marketing, there's no way that you can't have consistent sales. And they go in this order. Without the brand, there's no good marketing. Without good marketing, you ain't making no money. Okay. So I want to break this down. Okay. So first of all, 4 things that are very, very, very important. Healthy brands have these things. Clearly identified audience is the first one. I want you to think of marketing like dating and courting and building a relationship. Okay. I really want you to begin to think of it with that same mindset, that in order for you to be able to sell to somebody, you really have to get to know them. And when I say know them, I mean in a group, or I mean the demographic, so I don't want you to think I just necessarily mean on an individual basis, certainly that too. But when I say know them, I mean know that population that you serve. I serve Christian entrepreneurs who are typically within the first 5 years of business, or still just not experiencing the results that they would like and have not yet hit the 6 and 7 figure mark. And so I know that consumer. I know the questions that they have. I know where they get stuck, because that's my clearly identified audience. The question for you is, who is your identified audience? A lot of times I work with people and I ask them, well, who do you serve? And let me tell you some of the answers I get. Here's one of the answers I get a lot. I serve women. And I'm like, that's not an audience. Do you know how broad that is? Like, what women? Wealthy women, poor women, educated women, entrepreneurs, moms, stay at home. Like, there's so many brackets. Serving women is not a clearly identified audience, right? And so, and let me kind of pull in some examples from some of the people that I see on here. You know, if you are a makeup artist, or if you do hair, same thing. Well, who do you serve? Oh, women. Well, I'm not interested in the same hairstyles and makeup as my grandmother, as somebody else in another demographic base. So you really have to get very, very, very specific. Hopefully you can see both of those words next to clearly identified audience, avatar and niche. Can you guys see both of those words?
Yes.
Okay, good. These are 2 words that you want to have a very strong grasp and understanding. And quick sidebar, I am gonna do Q&A, so I'm gonna go through this at a healthy pace, and that way I have plenty of time for question and answer. So if you've got a question or something comes to your mind, jot it down, because I'm definitely gonna do Q&A at the end, because I want to make sure you get your questions answered. Okay, so this first slide, we're still talking about branding. An avatar is a snapshot of who your customer is. when people put together a brand avatar, it literally is a story that you put together about this person. Okay. And so you name it. Like I've seen people who have avatars and it's Sheila. You know, as a matter of fact, I put one together for one of my clients last year. And what did we name her avatar? Oh my goodness. I'm just going to say Leslie. Let's just go with Leslie. She is a dating and relationship coach. And so once we did the market research on who she wants to serve, we came up with Leslie. Leslie is a professional woman who has postgraduate degrees. Leslie makes at least $80,000. She lives in Atlanta, New York, DC, Chicago. Yeah, I think those are the 4 cities. And Leslie is single because Leslie has primarily put her career in the forefront. And now she's at a place where, because she's fulfilled in her career, she's looking for relationships. That was a general snapshot of who Leslie was. And we did have some more demographic information. What was the purpose of that avatar? So every time she goes to put together marketing, she's not making up something off the cuff. She's making it very relatable because she feels like she knows this person. And so, you know, she does dating. She does, what are those things called? Dinner match chat, where she has a group of men, a group of women, and she kind of matches them together. All of these different initiatives that she does. What I told her was, now that we've put together this avatar of who your customer is, every time you put something together, you think about, would Leslie buy into this? And so this is something that you need to put together. If you don't already have, this is very important. That word niche there is a spin on that, to really say that you need to become a specialist at something. So it's not good enough to just be in the industry, but you want to be a specialist. So I'm going to use Miss Carol for an example. A lot of people who you see rise to massive success in the hair industry, they're a specialist at something. You know, especially those people who have become like celebrity hairstylists. There's a lady in Los Angeles who became very popular for her haircuts. She cut Nia Long's hair, Halle Berry's hair. Now, we're pretty sure that she can do all kinds of styles, but her emphasis was on haircuts, right? And there's another gentleman I can think of who's in New York, same thing, charging hundreds of dollars for a haircut. Why? Because he's perfected that part. Then you have people who are master colorists. And again, I'm sure they can do wraps and everything else, but coloring is their specialty. Right? Or let's jump to photography. You know, I know a lot of photographers. What's your specialty? Now, because I know so many photographers, I always tend to ask that. I'm like, okay, great. What are you best at? Are you a photographer that specializes in events and really bringing those moments to life? Are you better in studio? Are you someone that's a headshot photographer? Are you good on creative, working on like ad campaigns for companies? Are you a photographer that specializes in like art photographs that can be used on stock image websites and you know, blown up into paintings? So again, photography is very broad. What is your niche? So whatever your industry is, you need to make sure that not only are you clear on who you serve, but what are you the best at? I want to say it this way. You will be known for your specialty. You guys follow me on that?
Mm-hmm.
And one thing I want to throw out there too is this: because it's 2017, we live in the information age. The internet has really changed marketing and business, but you have to remember it's also changed the customer experience. Customers are much more savvy now. They're much more educated because you can Google everything. So, you know, while it's easier to set up a business, put together a website, put together social media and get out there, you have to be that much far ahead because your consumers, they have access to everything you have access to. So you really have to think about that when you are putting together your brand. You want to be able to clearly articulate that this is who I am. This is my specialty. This is my expertise. This is something that you'll get from me that you won't get from anybody else in my field. Okay. And that kind of leads me to the second one, unique service proposition. And the word there, segmentation, basically means how do you stand out in your industry? When you talk about having a unique service proposition, you're talking about what do you offer that the next person doesn't offer? That if 5 other people were lined up next to you that offer your same product or service, what would be the one thing that makes them choose you? So for example, Domino's, their unique service proposition was you get your pizza in 30 minutes or less. So while you could order from all these other places, their thing was if you want it fast, get it here. Okay. Then you've got like Payless. Their thing is affordability. Yeah, you could go to Target or you could go to Nordstrom for some shoes, but you come here for affordability. So you have to think about what is your unique service proposition? What causes you to stand out from other people in your industry? And what's the thing that makes people come swipe their card with you versus somebody else? Okay. I'm running here. Concise messaging. This is really connected to the rest of it. That once you figure out who you are, you want to make sure that every place you have your branding reflects that, especially your website, your social media. Once you know who your avatar is, what your niche is, what your USP is, you want to communicate that this is who I am and this is why you come to me. Don't let that be a subtle thing. You have to put that out there very intentionally so people know, oh, okay, you're the affordable person, or to the opposite, you're the luxury experience, whatever that is. And then lastly, having a visual identity that matches that. I can't tell you guys how many times I see somebody post something online or in a group or something I'm in, and they go, here's my logo. What do you guys think of it? And I'm like, well, there's questions we got to ask before we can answer that. Who are you? Who do you serve? Because if you have a luxury brand versus a convenience-based brand, those logos are going to be different for the same company. So when you think about, your logo, your colors, your graphics, the fonts, the pictures you use, all of that is really related to the items that are above that. And it's why when I work with people, when I do branding for people, the very last thing we get to is logo, colors, all that other stuff. We have to start out with the avatar and the niche and your USP and your streams of income, because we can't design a logo if we don't know what you're doing. You guys follow me?
Yeah.
So do you see the importance of having this worked out before you ever get into the marketing phase?
Mm-hmm.
It's like putting together a marketing campaign without a strong brand is like trying to come up with the perfect date for somebody you don't know. You don't know what they like. There's no way that you know how to put this together. And that's what I see a lot of people struggle with their marketing. They're trying to come up with a campaign and they don't know this audience. They have no idea what they like, so they're just trying stuff, and that can be very costly.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I'm hitting some amen corners.
Yes. Yeah.
And so some of these nuggets I'm giving you really are going to help you get the best bang for your buck when you talk about maximizing your return on investment. Unless you just got $100,000 to spend on marketing, and you probably don't, you need to get the best out of every penny that you spend. Am I right about that?
Yes.
Yes.
Every ad, every flyer, every post needs to be very targeted. So I'm switching gears now, okay, to marketing. This right here is woo. I feel I'm very passionate about this because a lot of people do the brand work, or at least some of it, but this is the part right here where you start really making some serious changes in your business. So you guys see these 3 phrases on the screen?
Yes.
Yes.
These 3 right here are each their own individual process, and you have to master all 3 of them in order to see consistency and growth in your business. So I want you to write that down, because I'm telling you, these are so important. You will not see consistency and you will not see the growth you desire in your business, especially long-term, without true mastery of each of these. Okay. So let me talk about the first one, lead generation. First of all, that word lead is just everything. you must. Let me break that down so I'm not assuming that you know what a lead is. A lead is someone who has, by an action that they've taken, demonstrated that they are interested in your product or service. Well, Tiffany, how do I know that someone's a lead? I want you to write these 3 letters down.
Okay.
CRM. And I probably can type this in this. I think I can actually type. Let's see. Yep. CRM. I want you to write that down. If you do not currently have a CRM system for your business, you need one yesterday. You needed it last week.
Okay.
Why? What does that stand for? CRM stands for Customer Relationship Manager.
Okay.
Your CRM system is the system where you can really begin to see strategically the action of people who are on your list and see who's interested in what. So a lot of times when people get started with their email marketing or with marketing, they'll get like MailChimp or something like that. And that's great. But then you got to graduate to the next level, which is to have a CRM system. Now, I'm going to type in the chat what I use. My mouse is not being nice to me today. Y'all give me a second.
Okay.
There we go. I use a system called Entreport. Entreport is an all-in-one, meaning that I can send emails through there. I can create landing pages. I can create opt-in forms. It has text message marketing. It has a little bit of everything.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to give you guys some other options too, because this is not the only one. Drip is another one. Get Response is another good one. ConvertKit is another very popular one. Infusionsoft, you have possibly heard of this. Infusionsoft is kind of like one of the top of the line ones. The interesting thing is I've had extensive experience with Infusionsoft, and I found it to be limited in some areas, which is why I didn't choose to use it. I found that Entreport was a little bit more what I needed. So that's what I use. So for example, when I go into my Entreport system, if I send out an email, I can see who opened it. I can see who clicked it. I can see who signed up. And over time, you begin to see a pattern. Most of your CRM systems will also have something that allows you to score your lead. Now, this kind of goes into the second one. I'm going to come back to lead generation in a second, but when we talk about lead nurture, this is where you can see over time who's interested in what you're doing. So let's say you send out an email with a coupon to buy a book. You can set it up so that each person who actually clicks on it gets a point. And then let's say you send out another email and there's something on there for them to click on. If they click on that, they'll get another point. And so what happens is over time, you can see who's a little bit interested in what you have, who's medium interested, and who's very, very interested. That if you have a program or something you're selling, perhaps you only want to push it to those who you know are really, really interested. Your lead scoring will allow you to do that. Are you guys following me on that?
Yes.
Yes.
So, like I said, each one of these is really their own individual process, but it's very, very important. Okay, guys, if you have background noise for a second, please mute yourself so everybody can hear nice and clear. Lead generation is the process by which you get new people to be in front of your door every day, week, and month. Now, this is important because based upon how many customers you want per week, per month, will really determine how many leads you need to be generating. So if you want 5 customers a month, you've got to make sure that your marketing activity is significant enough to generate that. I'm going to talk about that a little bit more when I get to lead conversion. Take my time. Okay. But so lead generation is very important. One thing I want to stress to you guys is that marketing is part art and science. It's like half and half. There's an art to marketing. You have the creative side, but then a lot of marketing is also number crunching. There are formulas that you can use that, okay, if I need 5 customers a month, I need to make sure I'm in front of this many people to close 5 sales. Okay. So that's conversion. Let me go back to nurture for a second before I get to lead conversion. Lead nurture, again, using the same analogy. What you have to know is that once people have expressed interest in your business, maybe they came to your website and signed up for your email or jumped on your blog or followed your social media, and they've shown that interest, there's a process by which you nurture them into a sale. Okay, 80% of sales happen on the 5th plus interaction, which means people have to interact with you at least 5 plus times, depending on your product and service, and depending on what emotions and price point. It could be way more than 5. Like for my industry, it's way more than 5, like 20 probably plus, that people have to interact with you before they're ready to buy. So when you know that up front, then you can have things in place to nurture them. Perhaps it's blog posts, perhaps it's webinars, and all kind of different things that you do to nurture them till they get to the point where they feel like they have enough information to buy. Okay, let me jump to lead conversion because this is really, really important. One thing that you have to begin to know, if you're not brand new in business and you've already started to make some sales, I want you to begin tracking what is called your conversion rate. Write this down. You have, whether you know it or not, you have a conversion rate, which means out of, let's say, 10 people that you talk to, how many of them actually decide to become a customer? So if every 10 people you talk to, 2 of them actually sign on, that means you have a 20% conversion rate, which is typically industry standard, just so you know. So that maybe you were discouraged, like, man, I talked to 10 people, 2 buy. That's standard. So let's say that you have a 20% conversion rate, okay? And you know that you want 5 customers every month. Now, I'm good with numbers, but I still always have to. That means you have to talk to 25 people every month to get your sale, to get the sales you want. So if you're like, you know what, Tiffany, I need 5 customers a month to meet my revenue goal, and you know that you typically close 20% of all the people you talk to and interact with, your marketing has to generate at least 25 leads for you to talk to. Maybe that's a consultation, maybe that's a proposal, maybe that's a quote, maybe that's a demo, whatever it is. And then you know out of that 25 at that rate, that 5 of them will say, okay, yep, I'm ready to sign. Are you guys following me?
Yeah.
Yes.
So do you see how this works? And so without knowing these numbers, this is how sometimes it's like we're taking a stab in the dark, hoping that we meet our revenue goals versus being strategic about, okay, this is my goal. This is what I need to do to meet that goal. Okay.
Okay.
I feel like I'm running. Oh my goodness. Because I'm telling you guys, I have so much I can pour into you. Okay. So the client journey, this is important to know. This is important to know that, again, from the time somebody becomes a lead to the time they become this customer and repeat customer, that there are some stages that they have to go through. And this right here is going to help you know, well, what should I be doing all month in terms of my marketing? Okay. So I'm going to take you really quickly because this right here is like its own 6-week course, but I'm going to take you through these 3 stages. The first stage is attract. This is when people simply, quite frankly, find out that you're in business, and you have to be doing this every single month for new people, getting in front of new people. So what's included in the know phase is, in the attract phase is know, like, and trust. Okay. Know, website and social media, ads and direct mail. I want you guys to know that online marketing is not the only solution. Now, yes,
Mm.
digital marketing is probably where you get the cheapest and can get the best return on investment. But depending on your industry, there may be trade shows, there may be conferences that you should be a sponsor at. There are a lot of offline opportunities that you can really benefit from. And so, George, I'm not sure what, for example, for you, I'm not sure what your specialty is for photography, but there are a lot of like wedding expos. I had a client who was a graphic artist, and her focus was wedding invitations. And one of her biggest marketing outlets was trade shows. Her online presence still needs some work, and it's something we're working on. However, she gets consistent business from going to trade shows and going to events that are geared towards brides. Okay, so great. So then perfect, George. So if it is weddings and events, then you want to find trade shows and events that are geared towards brides. Having a strong online presence will be great, but some of those in-person events will be great, especially because you'll get to make that personal connection, because sales is emotional. People buy from an emotional place. So if you're talking about a bride who's excited about her wedding day and she can actually have a conversation with you in person, you're much more likely for her to become a hot lead and actually become a sale. Okay, so I want to make sure I point that out. Then once you get to the know phase, okay, then we get to the like phase. This is where people have to kind of make a personal connection with you. They got to get buy-in to you. And so a blog or a vlog, which is simply a video blog, is a great place to do that. An email newsletter is another great place to do that. One thing I want to highlight about this email newsletter and blog is I want you to write this down. You have to educate people into their need for your service. I'm going to say that again. You have to educate people into their need for your service. It would seem like it should be simple. It should go without saying that they need your service, but you would be surprised how people in your target audience quite simply don't know that they need what you offer. So you have to lead with content and lead with value. And this is why you see a lot of people doing blogs, doing newsletters, and really giving out education, because it's their way of saying, yeah, you need my help. Because you don't realize it. I know in my field, I find that all the time. People who, in this DIY age, everybody's do it yourself. They really genuinely don't know, well, I really do need some help with my marketing. Yeah, I know. Same thing in your field. You'd be surprised how many people get their cousin to take pictures or get their cousin to do their hair for their wedding day and really don't realize the value that a professional will bring. Okay. And so having a blog or a vlog on simple things like how professional photos make a difference for, your wedding day, or different, Miss Carol, different hairstyles that can help you show up more professional or whatever. You'd be surprised how giving that level of education will draw in more customers. Okay. And it's kind of a good segue to trust, because content marketing with articles and even sometimes blogs and newsletters, there can be a bleed over, really builds the trust factor, because it can also show people what your expertise is. Okay. And so when you can let people see what your expertise is, more than likely, once you've helped them to solve a problem, then they're going to come to you for what it is that you've helped them with. Okay. So that's phase one. And this is something that you want to include in your monthly marketing calendar. Posting on social media, driving people back to your email, posting and doing ads, doing a blog, doing a monthly newsletter, right? Posting articles, posting webinars, and different ways for people to find out why they need your service, okay? Next is the accept phase. Once people know that you're in business and kind of bought onto it, now how can we intentionally bring them in the fold? So try and buy, okay? People will want to have a sample before they purchase. And can you guys remember I believe it's Sam's Club, where they're always giving out like the free samples of
Yes.
everything.
Uh-huh.
They are not doing that because they just got food to waste. They know that if they can get you to taste it and you see how great it is, you'll buy the box. It works the same way in your business. If you can offer somebody a try, they are more likely to buy. So a webinar, a consultation, a free call, a demo, where they can see, like if you're a makeup artist or you're a hairstylist, where they can see a sample of your work. When people, and especially depending on the magnitude of what you sell, the price point, how much of an emotional decision it can be, you may even have to do a little bit more in the try phase to get people to say, okay, yep, I'm sold. I'm ready to buy from you. Okay. So that's what I want to highlight about that one. And then before I jump to my Q&A, this is important too, because people forget that getting the sale is not everything. Once you've got the sale, we want to not only generate customers, we want to get repeat customers. I love that in the majority of my business, it's new people, but there's old people that come back to me all the time. That's what you want. You want to create that mechanism where not only are new people coming to you, but also people are coming back to you. And what tends to happen there is they bring people with them. Referral is one of my strongest outside of social media and some of that other. Referral, I get a strong stream of referrals from customers, and I'm intentional about doing that. So repeat is important here. Cross-sell and upsell. You want to think about what's next for your customer. So I'm going to use Miss Carol because I know this is an example of an industry where it happens a lot, where you go to the hair salon and your hair is great. They've got the little sheen, the spray sheen, the hold sheen. That's a perfect cross sell and upsell. Why? Because they know that if you just invested all this money to get your hair done, you seriously want to know how you can keep your hair done in between visits. Okay. So I'm trying to think of somebody else throughout your industry and what you do. Somebody whose example I haven't used a lot. Okay.
Well, for my business, I have a dance and drama company, so.
Okay. So here we go. So a perfect cross sell would be, and I don't know if you sell this or not, so just work with me. But let's say that you do classes?
Yes.
Okay. So if you do classes, then the perfect cross sell would be bags for your dancers, shoes, rehearsal attire, because you know if they're coming to you week in and week out for rehearsal, that they also need these other items. And so the business mindset is, and this is one that I've adopted, is that if I know my customer needs something, you're not gonna have to leave me to get it. You're gonna be able to get it right here.
Okay, got it. Right.
So
Okay.
that you know what? Okay, nope, you can get it right here. So that's the idea of the cross sell upsell, is that what goes perfectly with what you sell. If you sold hot dogs, it will only make sense to also offer ketchup and mustard, right?
Right.
Like, why should they have to go across the street to buy that? That's money you lost out on. There's something that goes with what you sell just like that.
Okay.
And what is that? That's another way for you to increase the streams of your business. And also, and sometimes, I hear you, Holy Spirit. Sometimes we have to recognize, sometimes we try to make a whole business or a whole stream out of something that should only be a cross-sell or an upsell. Like I see people try to do a whole t-shirt business when really it should go along with something else and be the upsell. Sometimes you have to be really clear on streams of income and figure out, is this the ketchup and mustard? Should I be selling something else too? And have this bundled together. Okay.
Okay.
Let me see. Okay, great. So, and then the last one is refer. You want to make sure that you have incentives and ways for people to bring you other customers. Offer a coupon for referrals. Offer a loyalty program that if you bring me, another person, you'll get 10% off. And perhaps 2 people, maybe you can earn a free shoot or whatever it is. People, let me tell you something. you need to give incentives for the things that they may even already do. They may already tell people that your service was great, but how much more would they intentionally do it if you offered an incentive for them to do so? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to open the line for questions right here. I know I've shared a lot, and believe me, there's so much more. I could go in depth on all of these. I want to open the line for questions. So questions. Somebody's got a question. I know I'm a great teacher, but I know I ain't break it down that good. Somebody's got a question.
Okay, so I have a question.
Okay.
So my business that I'm working on is actually image consulting. I have had a lot of experience doing personal styling, and whether it's for, an event like weddings, I've done that a lot, or even just interior designing. I've designed a lot of houses, and just always been like the go-to person for things like that.
Okay.
I'm trying to, like, going back to what you said, like getting back to the avatar, where I'm trying to figure out who my customer is. Because it's so broad, and it's like, how do you really break down your avatar? Like, I know you spoke a little bit on it, but
sure. Yeah. That's such a great question. And it's funny, I think it's on my website, and I'm going to recommend, I actually have a sheet. It's called Brand Clarity. It's a brand clarity worksheet.
Okay.
It's on the Kingdom Boss website. It's a free document. I think that would benefit you. I would recommend getting that, because my answer I'm about to give, there's a whole section on that you kind of can walk through and really map it out.
Okay.
But I feel like there's an art to it. And let me say this, creating your avatar can take months. It's not necessarily a quick process. And I say that because it could be quick, but it's probably not going to be. Right? So,
okay, right.
Can I prepare your soul with that?
Yes.
Because here's what I have found. Finding your avatar and your sweet spot, as I call it, is a mixture of a couple of things. One of them is who you are most passionate about. Right? So who are you passionate about? What do you do that you couldn't stop doing it if you wanted to? You see it and you just got to jump in and you just have to do it. I'm passionate about this. That's one component. The other component is your actual expertise. Because again, it has to marry with, like, let me think of something I'm passionate about, but I'm not. Let me think. Okay, good example. I love basketball. I am a basketball, yes. But I've never played basketball. So if I get the urge to start a basketball, any kind of business, no ma'am. Because passion alone isn't going to do it. It has to also meet my expertise, where I've had some experience and where I can actually speak from a trustworthy place to a customer. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So those are a couple of components. Is your passion, is your experience. And then I always like to say it like this too. It's always also a factor of who you've been and who you are. I don't care what business you're in. There is some way that is tied to your story. There's a reason that you got into that business other than you just like it. That's deeper sometimes than you even realize. And so when you dig down into your story and really look at where you've been, why is it that important to you? To somebody else, it may just seem like, oh, you're just making things pretty, but why does that really matter? When you pull that out and you pull all of those together, somewhere in there, you really find what your real assignment is and who you're really called to.
Okay.
And it's a gutsy process, but you got to do it, because once you identify that, those people just draw to you like magnets. The funny thing is, whether you realize it or not, your potential customers are probably already drawing to you like magnets. You just might not even realize it. That was happening. Was happening for me. And I was not trying to be in this whole faith space. I'm a PK. I was like, I'm over it. I'm done. No, thank you. I love Jesus, but no, thank you. That was quite honestly where I was. But I couldn't, all I was ever drawing was Christian entrepreneurs who wanted the faith and the business. And I was like, okay, you can go with it, or you can fight it, or you can accept it. You know what I mean?
Right.
So sometimes the people you're called to serve, they are chasing you down, and you're like, oh no, I'm not. That's not who I serve. It is. So yes, I would definitely recommend going to the site and getting that brand clarity sheet. I think that would be really, really good for you.
Okay.
And anybody else on the line who feels like you're still really trying to identify who exactly you serve, or even if you just want to confirm it, I think that brand clarity worksheet is a really, really good document that kind of helps you through that. So awesome question. Any other questions?
Yeah, Tiffany.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Now I know you were speaking about different avenues, forms of selling your product and things like that. I wanted to know, what did you feel about using places like QVC?
Oh, that's a very good question. So again, it's funny because I was literally digging out, I was cleaning up. I just moved a couple of months ago, and I had some boxes, and I was like, let's get your life together. And I found a marketing notebook from a boot camp I went to years ago, and they talked about that. How to get your products on QVC, how to get them in Walmart, all that good stuff. But so there's definitely a process to getting your products on QVC. And I'm gonna, to be honest, I don't remember it offhand. I really need to look at my notes and see. But I do think it's really a good idea. Here's the biggest thing that you want to be mindful of when it comes to that. When you talk about wanting to get your products in a larger distribution point like that, a major chain retail store, QVC, home shopping network, you want to make sure that you have your shipping and fulfillment on a mass level is ready. So shipping and fulfillment is going to be the big, like, if you get an order for 50,000, how are you in a place where you're ready to fulfill that type of order?
Okay.
So that's what, and so my honest recommendation when it comes to product sales is kind of work your way through, start off with, if you're still in the couple hundred range, get that process tight. Take the revenue from there and then invest in your systems, because every couple levels you go up, you're going to need some different systems. You're probably going to need some staff. By the time you get to the point where you have your products on QVC, HSN, Walmart, you've got shipping and fulfillment staff to assist you with.
Okay.
And so you want to, and so the great thing about having a business, and this is for all of us, is that start where you are and then you reinvest in the business. Take out some of the revenue that you've earned and reinvest. I think it was last year. Was it the year before? No, I think it was last year when I hired my first staff member, right? And so, I think it was 2015. I don't know, somewhere around there. Finally, I was able to hire. And so you'll know when you get to the point in your business where it's time to start stretching in terms of your systems and your staff and all of that, but you'll also have the revenue that goes along with it.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
So start by selling a couple hundred and then take a portion of all of the sales. Every time you make revenue, take a portion, save it, reinvest it back into the business. That way, when that stuff starts picking up and you're like, oh, Lord, I got to hire somebody, or, oh, Lord, I need another system, you'll have the money for it.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
All right, guys, I think I have time. Yeah, I'll take one or two more questions. Questions or comments? I would love to hear if somebody's had an aha moment. I would love to hear that too.
Well, I don't want to. Hey, Tiffany, this is Carol.
Hi, Miss Carol.
My grandkids was in the background because I didn't want to say too much because they were loud. When you go back to the of the leads and the numbers and stuff, so actually you're saying every 5 persons, you only going to get one. So if you want to break that down, if you want 25 people, if you only going to get one person out of either those five numbers. That's what you're saying.
Right. And
One,
it depends on what your personal conversion rate is. Now, depending on the industry and all of that, sometimes 20-30% can be standard. I have, and it's funny because part of it has been from direct sales and some other things. I am a pretty confident and comfortable saleswoman. Now, let me say that was not me at the beginning of my journey. So my conversion rate is much higher than that. But it really can just depend. So that's why I said, and honestly, if you don't know your conversion rate, go over the last maybe month or two and look at how many people did you talk to, how many new people did you talk to, and how many of them actually booked.
Okay.
And that can begin to give you an idea. And it's something that you want to consistently track, though, because you want to know, is your conversion rate getting better? As you become better at marketing and sales, as you become more comfortable with certain things, as you become more savvy with certain things, your conversion rate should get better. That's what happened for me. Was that over the past 5 years, this is my 6th year now, I'm converting way better than I was in the beginning. I probably had like a 10%. I don't know what it was when I first started, but it's night and day now. So you always want to track your conversion rate, because that's going to affect your calculations for if you want this many customers per month. You need to know if you have a jump from 20% to 30% to 40 to 50, or even the other way, you really want to know that so you can know that you're generating enough people and talking to enough people. If you find that you have a slow month, let's say, I know in hair, sometimes summer can be slow because people get braids and all this other stuff. If you know that, okay, this is a slow time, then maybe you say, in order for me to generate more leads this month, I'm going to do a sale. I'm going to do, if you get your hair done, you get a free product, something that's going to generate more leads than normal, because you know that, this is a slow time. So
right.
The numbers and how much you're generating, how much you're converting, that's something you want to, on a monthly basis, be tracking in order to hit. Because I think you're like me, you're full-time in your business, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So and that's the thing. So, when it's part-time, you can kind of dabble in it, but when you're like eating off of this, it becomes like you have to do it in order to reach your income goal. So I recommend, even for those of you who are just starting, who are working your business part-time, treat it like it is your full-time, like you really are the CEO of this, because that's how you're going to get those results on a consistent basis. So did I answer your question, Ms. Carol?
Yes.
Okay, good. All right. I think I have time for one more question. And if not, I do want to share, as I told you I would, I'm going to share a couple quick testimonials with you guys. This is actually one of my, Sherelle, I heart her. This is one of my clients I worked with when I first launched Kingdom Boss, because Kingdom Boss was a spinoff, if you will. I actually have an agency. The Tiffany Bethia Group LLC is my agency where I work with companies, nonprofits, the whole nine. And then I found the need to work with people one-on-one and in a group setting. And that's where Kingdom Boss kind of spun out. She was one of the first people I worked with, and since we have worked together, she has released a best-selling book. She's been on TBN. She has just been kicking butt, and it has just been such a pleasure. So this is a testimonial from Sherelle. I've worked with her. This is one of them. She's actually sent me like 3 testimonials. And so working with her has been a joy. Hi, Peaches. I grabbed you there.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did. I keep, and this is a teaching moment, because let me tell you something. Testimonials are gold. You need them because people draw people. So if you are looking for additional customers, you better keep every testimonial. Always ask people, can you have their testimonial? Are they okay with sharing it? All that great stuff. And as you guys can see on here, because Peaches is one of my Kingdom Boss Society members, and clearly I thought I had excluded them from this training today. I was trying to just be all about y'all, and a few hopping on here anyway. They obviously aren't sick of hearing my voice. So this is Peach's testimonial. Hi, Peaches.
Hi.
And then this is a testimonial from, well, her company's name is Applaud, but her name is Shernice, and she actually makes cupcakes and specialty apples. And it was so funny when I saw this pop up on my timeline one day. All I could do was laugh, especially at the bottom when she said, beware, she gives you an ample amount of homework. I was like, oh, I feel bad. I don't always give homework. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. But I'm sharing this because I know that I've given you guys a whole lot of information, and I kind of felt bad because I rushed, but there's so much more that I feel like I could give you in regards to each of these steps. Now, Peaches, Laverne, Shakia, that hopped on in here anyway, are already in Kingdom Boss Society and get,
yes, join if you can join.
But I'm gonna tell you guys the truth. I'm gonna be really seriously transparent with you, because if you go to my Kingdom Boss website right now, and go to the Kingdom Boss Society page, it says closed. It's not open right now. However, I wanted to offer just for this training. I have not promoted this on social media. I have no plans to, because to the public right now, it is still closed. But for you guys, I know that for those of you who are like, this has been helpful, but I know I need more. I need hands-on. I need you to help me actually put together my marketing calendar. I want to say, Tiffany, this is how much money I need to make in my business. How do I get there? Or I'm still trying to figure out my customer. How do I do that? If you feel like you really could benefit from that hands-on accountability and structure, I would invite you to definitely join us in the Kingdom Boss Society. It's great.
Yay! Join. Yay. Okay, good. Because I was about to say, like, no, I can't join. Okay.
I know. So I promise. So the funny thing is, I'm open. I am finally opening it back up. This is the first time it's been open since I launched it in December. I was like, nope. I want to nurture the people who are here. But the end of this month, I'm opening it back up. But for you guys, I didn't want to wait simply because we have our 2 live trainings coming up. One's tomorrow, one's in 2 Tuesdays. And if you decided that you really wanted that more, I want you to be able to benefit from that. So I'm going to send out, you will receive a follow-up email to this. It's going to come out to you late tonight.
Okay.
And it will have the link in there. Kingdom Boss Society is a simple $47 a month investment. Now, let's talk real talk right now. Okay, y'all? Because I don't know about y'all, but I have paid thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. But the beauty of it is I wanted it to be something that's affordable for, people who, this is really where Kingdom Boss Society came from. I was doing a lot of working with people in a one-on-one setting, and I found that to be enjoyable, but thank you, Peaches. But I found that there's really a benefit from the group learning. And Peaches, you can attest to this. And who else is on here? Laverne is on here. You guys can attest to the fact that sometimes one person will ask a question and everybody gets something out of the answer.
Yes, that's true.
I was doing a lot of one-on-one coaching, and I felt like I was repeating myself 5 times a day. And I was like, no. I was like, I'm going to pull all these people together, and we're going to talk about it together. And we have such a great time in our sessions, don't we, guys?
Yes, we do.
Yes.
We really do. And I know, all right, let me be real. I know I give a little bit of homework out, right?
Yes, she does.
But it's good homework, is it not?
Just a little, y'all.
See? It's good homework. It's not busy work. It's stuff that's going to help you make some more sales, is it not?
Correct.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
I'm looking out for y'all because I feel like I'm developing a reputation. That's not my intention. But I'm gonna tell you guys the truth. Because and some of you have heard me say this before, Kingdom Boss is not my primary source of income. My primary source, it really is my agency. It's the companies that, some of them I can't even tell you I work with just for confidentiality purposes. So Kingdom Boss is my give back. This is my service because I'm just passionate about helping people get to where they want to be. and where they need to be. And so when I see the greatness in your business, no, absolutely, I am not going to let up. I'm like, come on, let's get it. Right?
Right.
And that's really what the purpose of it is. I do believe that it's a God assignment, and that's why I do it. So said all that to say, for those of you who feel like, you know what, this has been helpful, but I know I need a little bit more, the answers have only brought about more questions, and I really see myself getting to another place. I would love to invite you to be a part. When you get the email with the link, you can simply click on the link, and Peaches corrected me. That's right. Our training is not tomorrow. Look at me all excited. I'm excited to talk to y'all like, but it is next week. It's next Tuesday. Sad face. The 13th. So I think what I'm gonna do, because I'm gonna have some new people join, is I'll probably pop in and do like a little live training or something before the week is out, just because I'm excited. Wouldn't that be great, guys?
Yes.
Yes, indeed.
I love it. So I hope this has been helpful. Please know that you will get this replay tomorrow. Excuse me. What's that question? Can we get on too? What's that question?
That's me.
I declare. Y'all crack me all the way up. So you guys will get this replay. It will come out to us tomorrow. And again, if you know, you like, you know what? Even if the information isn't what you know you need, but the accountability is, you need somebody to stay on you and say, okay, how many people did you talk to this month? How many calls did you do? What are we doing? And really work with you and pray with and for you, and kind of be that midwife to push you to that 6 and 7 figure that you see for your business. Then come on and be a part of society. Great things are happening. Okay, guys.
Yeah.
I love it, Miss Carol. Yes, Miss Carol, you do. Because let me tell you, I carry you guys in my spirit. I'm gonna close, but I carry you guys in my spirit. I really do. I believe that this is my divine assignment.
Yes.
This is my assignment right here, is to help other people really push out what's in them. Why? Because I was that person. I was that person that just knew something in me was bigger than what I was living. I was the person that was at my job, at the desk, and it was a nice job. It really wasn't bad, but I just knew there was something greater, and I couldn't figure it out. I had to have somebody coach me to figure out what that greater is that's in there, and then walk it out. So I know what that process is, to just be like, you know what, God, I'm grateful, but there is a lot more in me I got to get out.
Yes. And I have one more question, Tiffany.
Yes.
Okay, this is Jean.
Hi, Jean.
My question is, I'm always listening, and tonight somebody said something about more products and all, and I'm bouncing back and forth because I was thinking with my women's ministry that I do a lot of teaching, and I do have those. Should I be trying to promote them, like the CDs, things like that, and I'm getting more engagements of speaking? So should I be focusing more on that?
Absolutely.
Instead of the business more so?
Well, here's the thing. You definitely, when you talk about products like CDs, and honestly, even sometimes
Some from the speaking engagements.
Exactly. That's what I was going to say. Speaking engagements is going to be your primary place. And this is even for you, Peaches. You know, like I have 4 books, but the majority of my book sales come from speaking engagements. Like, yeah, people will go on the website and buy a book or something like that. But most of the time, they really will get them in person. And so if you do a lot of speaking, you always want to have something for them to walk away with, tangible, that keeps that message going in there. Faith comes by hearing, ING, which means when they saw the speaking engagement, that was great. But in order to bring that lasting change, I got to keep hearing it. I got to keep hearing it. So you got to have a book, you got to have an audio, you got to have something for them to take, so they can keep hearing and it can keep bringing the change for whatever your message was. So that's a great question.
Okay.
Yes, yeah. And this is definitely getting me fired up for next Tuesday. I'm gonna be. I wish we could. Woo! Sorry, I can hold my charge till next week. I'm ready for you. All right, guys. So I'm wrapping up, but again, look out for the email with this replay. And then also the link if you're interested, and don't feel any pressure. If this is not the time or whatever it is, no worries. I hope that training has been helpful. Honestly, I really hope that the nuggets from tonight will be beneficial for you, and that either way, whatever it is that you are building and growing with God, that you will get all of the results. I'm touching and agreeing that you will get every single thing you are supposed to have and more. Okay? Yes, Peaches, I agree. I think it was wonderful to have you guys on here, even though that was not my plan. But I love it. It worked out well. I said, they must snuck on here. They're a trip. All right. So, guys, I want you to have a wonderful, wonderful evening. And if I can figure out how to stop recording this thing, oh, there we go.